Hey guys, I'm NATO King, and it's time for more Space Quest 5. Last time we reached the lab at Genetics, and speaking of genetics, Roger seems to be having a bit of a problem with his, since some kind of weird transporter accident trapped him in the body of a fly. Now he's even lower on the food chain than he used to be, and everything wants to eat him. From those plants in the foreground to some kind of weird frog that lives in this pond. Any day now. And if it could aim, we would be seeing the death message that results when it eats you. It is different from the one when the plant eats you that I showed at the end of the last episode. So maybe if I sit here for long enough, it'll come back up for another go and actually get the not really moving target. How is he not starved to death yet? Anyway, since he's probably not going to eat me ever, perhaps my dropped communicator will be the solution to this problem. Unfortunately, I have to get closer. And here we go, but... must turn it on. Unfortunately, I have no hands to press the buttons. And I don't seem to have enough weight to push down the buttons if I just walk across them. I'm getting no assistance here. So, where can I find something heavy enough to hit the buttons, which I can actually get to the communicator? Well, that works. Now let's go see if I can get somebody's attention. Oh, hi, Flo. Help me! Help me! And from her, that's saying something. Ah, just kidding, Flo, you look beautiful. Alright, for anyone who didn't follow that conversation, she said, "We're being railroaded." We can go behind the rocks over here and take a look at a dumpster. Ha ha. Yeah, I don't think that's the structure she really wanted us to explore, so I'll head to the other side around the rock here. Which is kind of hard to do with the weird fly controls. And there's the structure we're supposed to explore. Problem is, how do I open it? Can't just fly in. Fortunately, there's a slot, and everyone knows that flies can fit into tiny gaps. Now while we're here, you don't want to just walk through. What you want to do is stand in front of each beam and watch the tumblers on the right. You need to figure out which beams activate those tumblers, because we're going to need to get in here once we get turned to human again, and we'll need to know how to make a card that'll open the lock. Well, that done, we're inside. And we've apparently got a Tasmanian devil. Or maybe that was a Labion terror beast in one of the cages. All kinds of weird stuff around here. Which I would expect of the lab that produced the pukoid mutants. And somebody left their computer logged in. Oh, goody! Well, first things first, let's get eaten. I thought I saw something up there. Guess it was just steam escaping from a pipe. What kind of steam? I don't want to think about. Anyway, let's go check out the computer screen. Okay, emergency jettison sequence is complete apparently, so everything was jettisoned. Unfortunately, it's a touchscreen, and we gotta play on the Dynamics logo, which actually genetically mutates and swims away. Well, we've got a lot of options here, and fortunately we can just walk across any of the buttons to activate them. Let's check out the schematic. Envirodome 1 is gone. 3 is operational. And 2 is non-functional. So 3, I think, must be the one that we're in. Let's check what's on the security feed. Hey, that was Roger's body. In the... what, exactly? Oh well. Yeah, there was nothing interesting on camera too anyway, but... here's our friends. Pun intended, right, Roger? And we can, of course, keep exploring the main menu here and gather more information, but that's going to be a lot less painful to do as a human, so let's go get fixed. I believe Cliffy will kill you here if you haven't called up to the Eureka just yet. And this is another one of those weird scenes where for some reason the box never clears until you click. Just for Cliffy's lines, just in this screen. It would be nice if WD-40 found anything useful, but spoiler, she doesn't. We've seen everything. Hey, I heard about that procedure on the SAT. Beginning of the game, remember? Yeah, I'll get around to that. For some reason, you can't even look at your own body at this part, so let's just get changed back to normal. Hopefully. Oh, you made the same joke yourself, Roger. We're getting comma abuse now? Come on! course, I don't remember seeing any actual advanced technology. I mean, some genetic stuff and a touchscreen computer. We've got those now. He's really eager to get into that lab, but first I need to go pick up my communicator. Hey, where'd it go? Can't really look at anything much. Oh, the bridge. Yeah, it's interesting. Alright, well, let's go meet Cliffy then, and hopefully it was WD-40 who picked up my communicator. Yeah, still gotta click to clear his lines. He'll just sit there wiggling his eyebrows for way too long. And what exactly is she gonna do aboard the ship? Anyway, forget about that. We need to get through that electronic lock. Fortunately, we happen to have a card we can stick in it. Of course, it doesn't work. But we've seen the formation of 9 lasers inside, and we just need to block certain ones. So let's punch some holes here. It's kind of weird because you have to click the middle of the hole punch, the hinge part, and not the end on the part where you want to punch the hole. Now, I know this isn't going to work. So they give you another shot. And you can screw up as many times as you need to. Oops. Well, actually, eventually you do run out of retries. The problem is, if you didn't figure out what the combination was while you were still a fly, you can't go back that easily. You're going to have to restore a game. And I think at this point they'll be helping us along. I'm sure everybody actually figured out what the combination was when they first went through. It just seems so obvious. So these were the lasers that didn't cause tumblers to activate, so we want to block the other 4. Yeah, you remember how eager Cliffy was to get into the lab? And now he refuses to go. Why not? So right now we can actually accomplish something in here. For starters, we can let some of these poor animals out of their cages. Yeah. Alright, obviously that guy wasn't too friendly. I think this one was the cave dweller in Space Quest 1. He should be helpful, right? I'd say I should have lost a bit more than my head from that. But anyway, I think those are the only 2 cages you can open. Well, I know it's not going to be of any help. I want to see how he dies. And, let's, guess we gotta walk to the computer. Alright, and still in surveillance mode, still watching Cliffy over there. Can't see anything. The picture from the surveillance cameras in the ... nothing. Okay, so let's see, the activity log. We'll take a look at what happened recently. Station OU812. Brilliant. Someone's playing Astro Chicken 3 in House of Doom. Kinda sad we never actually get to play that one. And he logs out about a minute later. Auto security alert, comlink failure. And the same guy who was playing Astro Chicken overrode that. We've got an intruder alert, auto fire suppression system activated. And then they have a structural integrity failure. The dome depressurizes. So there's a power failure, activate emergency power, and then they abandon station and start scuttling all the domes. Dome 1 jettisoned and detonated. Scuttle program activated for Dome 3, which is the one we're standing in, so I'm assuming that it didn't actually get destroyed. Dome 2 detonates. Dome 3 procedure aborted. User 999. So someone else must have been in here and stopped it from blowing up. Then they activate the jettison sequence locally. Seal it, jettison, and that's when we came in. Interesting, but I don't really know what any of that means. So let's see what projects they were working on. Hey, it's primordial soup. That's what we needed to know about. And it looks like they were trying to use it for terraforming. Create an adaptable metabacteria to enable terraforming on planets. Okay. I mean, it sounds useful. I don't know why that would be mutating people. So this stuff is basically cleaning up the atmosphere of a planet, giving off an Earth-like atmosphere, and creating an actual primordial soup from which evolution will begin. So kind of a universal food source, almost. So they managed to find one strain, Cassius Velox, which was much more effective than any of the other ones. They irradiate it to make sure that it's going to survive in various planetary environments. And the method they chose for the irradiation is putting it next to a computer monitor. And later they'll use a safer type of radiation like gamma rays. So, nice nod of the head there, I suppose. So, it survives the radiation, things look good, but they got a couple of mutations that they didn't like and are removing them from the population. That's never good. So finally, it looks like they've gotten rid of all of the recessive traits they didn't like, and now they're going to put some mice into the environment to see what happens, and they start mutating into pretty much exactly the same things we've been seeing earlier in the game. These pukoid mutants. So I guess most of that we could have figured out on our own. And we get points for finding out that these things are ambulatory piles of goo with teeth, as they describe it. But extreme cold will slow the cell mutations drastically. The weird thing is, Ambassador Wankmeister already told us to put her into cold to stop the mutation of her own body. How did she know to do that? Has she actually been to the lab and seen this report? Or maybe that was just a guess. I don't know. Let's see what happened next with their experiment. And here's where the virus is introduced to humans. One of the mutant mice bit the lab tech. And they can't figure out how to slow the progress of the disease other than the ice. And he's got an entire warehouse full. So whoever HH is had to get rid of all that primordial soup somehow. I think we know where it ended up, but let's check their accounting log. Alright, nothing much of interest here. They got Astro Chicken 3 for research. Wait, Rames T. Quirk? Bribe? 50,000 buckazoids. Interesting. A lot of the other stuff is just parodies of actual bits of computer hardware. 2 more bribes to Captain Quirk. Cases of Corona Ale for testing. Got some liquid nitrogen cans for R&D. Those could be useful. I mean, that stuff's really cold. Called Madame Zorba for consulting. Novelty teeth, personal expense, of course. And programmer cubes for incentives. It's like the least incentivizing thing I can think of. Guess maybe they were talking about actual cubes of programmers. Ugh. A refrigerator, WowTech scanner, an X-ray machine as a personal expense. And a contour chair for spare parts. Sounds kind of like my office. Anyway, so nothing else of interest there. But I think we can piece together what happened after the log ends. They needed to get rid of all that primordial soup, and so they paid Captain Quirk to illegally dump it on Clorox 2, where it infected the colonists, and he is now paying the price for his own folly. We picked up bits and pieces of that whole exchange in the rest of the game, but now it finally comes together and we understand the whole plot. Now there is one more thing that we need to do here in this lab before we get out of here. And if you don't do it, you will really regret it later. There we go, this compartment contains something very important. There's the liquid nitrogen canisters. I don't know if I can touch them with my bare hands. Indeed I can. No problems. Minus 200 degrees is exactly the temperature that we need to slow the pukoid mutation. But can we have fun with it? Maybe puncture the canisters? No. Would have been fun, but the game's not going to let us just off ourselves quite so easily. So now we just need to get out of here. Somehow. So this door I just walk up to, of course. And still gotta click through Cliffy's dialogue. Liquid nitrogen? Sure, get them here! No, he's right. We have done everything that we need to do here for now, but I don't want to beam back to the ship quite yet. we'll save that for the next episode because some cool stuff happens when we do that. So next time, back to the Eureka, the cool stuff I promised, and we'll finally be heading to the Goliath to take the fight to the pukoids face to face. Yeah. See you guys next time.